Alright guys, so in this week's episode of Julie's Playbook, we're going to be talking about how did the Steelers end up in first place and didn't even play a game? Terrell Pryor, what happened to him? And all the big name players that now have new homes in the NFL. All that and more when Julie's Playbook starts now. Alright guys, so the first topic we have to talk about is the Steelers, of course. Well, the Steelers didn't play this week because they were on a bye week. But they end up in first place. How does that happen? Well, the Bengals lose to the Chiefs 45-10. The Browns lost to the Bucs 26-23. And on Justin Tucker's first ever missed extra point, the Ravens lose to the Saints 24-23. So what does that mean? This week's game against the Browns is critical. The Steelers have to win it if they want to win the AFC North again. All right, guys, so the next topic we have to talk about is Drew Brees. With the win over the Ravens, he joins Brett Favre and Peyton Manning as the only three quarterbacks to ever beat all 32 teams. That's quite an accomplishment. Of course, he played with the Chargers and then came to the Saints, so that's how he did beat all 32 teams. All right, so Amari Cooper is now a Dallas Cowboy. The Cowboys gave the Raiders a first-round draft pick in 2019. That's giving the Raiders 3 first-round draft picks in 2019. That's so far. I don't think John Gruden's done yet. He signed a long-term deal, and I think he's trying to rebuild his own team here. But here's the big question. What's going to happen to Derek Carr? Will he get a contract extension, or will he go elsewhere? For some reason, I think he's going to end up like Kirk Cousins and want out, and they're not going to let him out. And you know what happened with the whole Kirk Cousins thing, but we'll see what happens. All right, guys, so we have to talk about a few other blockbuster trades that are happening around the NFL. Carlos Hyde is headed to Jacksonville for a 5th-round draft pick. Eli Apple is headed south to the Saints for a 4th-round draft pick. And Damon Big Snack Harrison is headed over to the Lions for a 5th-round draft pick. All big names headed elsewhere in the NFL. We'll see who else goes where with the trade deadline approaching quickly. Alright guys, so last week the Mega Millions hit a crazy number. Juju Smith-Schuster said he played the Mega Millions, and if he won, he would get Le'Veon back. Of course, Le'Veon didn't show up again. And you know what, I took to Twitter and Instagram to ask you guys, does it really surprise you anymore that Le'Veon isn't back? Well, 31% of you said it did on Twitter, 69% of you said, well, it just doesn't. Only 17% of you were surprised on Instagram. The other 83 just wasn't anymore. I'm with you guys that say you just weren't because, well, I'm kind of over the whole Le'Veon thing too. Alright guys, so Terrell Pryor is looking for a new home. The Jets had to cut him because he wasn't the healthy receiver and they needed the healthy receiver for Sunday. Terrell said his injury is almost 100%, so I look for Terrell to have a new home soon. Alright guys, former Steeler Mike Mitchell signed with the Colts on October 9th. And now he's AFC Defensive Player of the Week. He had 7 tackles, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, and 2 pass deflections. All I gotta say is, why didn't he do that with the Steelers? Alright guys, so we have to talk about Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen is becoming one of the best receivers to play the game. He had his 7th 100-plus yard game in a row. The last time it was done was in 1961 by Charlie Hennigan. Thielen is showing a lot of promise, and with his new quarterback, I see great things to come from him. Alright guys, so that does it for this week's episode of Julie's Playbook. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on this video. And of course, if you want to play DraftKings, don't forget to challenge me. That's at JGurnick9. But until next week, that's a wrap.